So today I'm taking you back to the 80s and we are making a classic weeknight family meal that you folks out there may have heard of if you're from Commonwealth nations. It's called curried sausages, and this was something that I really enjoyed as a kid, and I'm sure that a lot of you folks out there did too. Super inexpensive to make. You can whip it up in a flash, and I'm going to show you how to do it now. Now, what's unique about this dish? Well, we are using sausages, but they have no animal products in them whatsoever. Sensational sausages by Garden Gourmet. So we'll be using those today for our curried sausage dish. So basically this dish is some sauteed vegetables, some curry powder that you can just get from your local grocery store, and we create like a gravy that's going to go on the sausages with the veg and served with some rice. So super easy, super tasty, and I'm going to show you an additional secret ingredient that really makes this dish super awesome. Okay folks, so we're going to start off with sauteing our sausages, getting them nice and brown and crispy on the outside. So on here I have a nice big fry pan, skillet, get it nice and hot. Because the sausages are pretty lean, I'm actually going to be using a little bit of vegetable oil just to fry them in. But of course, if you're watching your waist, you can omit this, you can just fry them directly in your dry pan. And we're going to saute these for a few minutes just until they're nice and brown on the outside. Now this might be a dish from the 80s, but now in 2021, the 80s is retro, so this dish is now cool. So our sensational sausages from Garden Gourmet are completely vegan. They actually already have a lot of flavor. So think beef and pork kind of flavors. So they work really great with any dish that calls for a classic snag. Once your sausages are nice and brown all the way around, we're just going to take them out and just pop them on a plate. And we're going to start sauteing our onions. So just turn the heat down a little bit. We are going to add some vegan margarine and some more oil. And our onion, so I've got one large brown onion and a good pinch of salt. So we're going to saute this for about 10 minutes or until they're nice and translucent. So our onions are looking nice and translucent. So we're going to go in with, I have a couple of big carrots and a large garlic clove, which I have crushed. And we're going to saute this for another few minutes. Next, we're going to go in with some curry powder. Now, we don't want to use any type of curry powder. Don't get the fancy stuff. This is the supermarket brand or sweet curry powder that doesn't have a lot of heat to it. So that going in as well. We've got 1 tablespoon going in. Fry that up for about 30 seconds. Did you know that curry powder is actually not Indian, it's English? Yes, it actually came about in the UK. So I am now going to be adding my flour. As I mentioned earlier, this is kind of like a curry gravy. So this is going to be our thickening agent. So just give that a stir around for a couple of minutes. We're just going to cook off any of that raw flour taste before we start adding our broth. So before we put our broth in, I just wanted to give you a top tip. So I am using here some vegan chicken broth. Like just broth is, chicken is not vegan. However, you can actually make a very simple vegan chicken broth by just taking vegetable broth, adding a pinch of dried sage and a little bit of white pepper. Instant vegan chicken stock. Let's slowly start to add this to our mixture here. Time for the secret ingredient. I did promise you that. Now, it's something that you probably already have in your household, and it is ketchup. Yes, we're using ketchup in this dish. It actually imparts the sweetness and a little bit of acid as well, so it really Just combines everything together and balances out all the flavors in this dish today. So our sauce has thickened up. Now we're going to go in with some frozen peas. Another ingredient I think a lot of people already have in their freezer. And I have here some plant milk, unsweetened, unflavored. And we're going to pop our sausages back in. So you can leave them whole. I'm going to leave them whole today, but you can also cut them up into bite-sized pieces. So we're going to let this simmer away for a few minutes until that sauce is nice and thick, and then we can dish them up. Let's dish it up. So I have some nice steamed rice here. You could also use mashed potato. So let's get about a cup of that onto our plate here. And then our sausage. And some of that lovely onion curry gravy with our vegetables. And whilst this is not an Indian dish whatsoever, as Indians would never eat pork, we are going to make it a little bit Indian by adding some cashew nuts that I have here. So I'm just going to crush those up a little bit just in my hands roughly. And I think it adds a nice textural crunch. And some coriander or parsley, totally up to you. So there you have it, folks. Curried sausages for your weeknight meals. For grown-ups and kids alike, everyone will love this dish. It's super tasty, very inexpensive to make, and you probably have most of these ingredients already in your kitchen. So, bon appetit. I'll see you next week. Bye.